Okay, good evening, everyone from Indonesia. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to present. My name is Feli. This research was conducted by Miss Professor Farida as a leader and Professor Frieda as a co-leaders, Miss Astri and I as a member of the team. This research is part the project titled Strengthening Higher Education Inclusion through Universal Design for Learning or UDL, funded by British Council, UK Indonesia Disability Inclusion Partnership Grant. I would like to take this opportunity to talk about the temporary result of research that we gave the title Exploring UDL Insight from Faculty and Student in Universitas Indonesia. Okay, firstly, I like to start with the background of this research. In 2017, Indonesia government through the Minister of Research, Technology and Higher Education specifically issued ministerial regulation number 46 of 27 concerning special education and special services in higher education. It is stated that higher education is open to students who have limitation in physical, emotional, mental, and social, and also for students who have potential, intelligent, and special talent. This regulation indicates that the government encourages and facilitates people with disabilities to study in higher education as a form of implementing inclusive education. Unfortunately, despite being protected by law, the participant of individuals with disability in higher education is still relatively low. This can be seen from the 2020 data from Central Statistics Agency, BPS. Only around 2.8% of students with disability who attend to university. It is estimated that the cause of the low participation of individuals with disability is due to several factors, including the readiness of universities or faculties to meet the learning needs of students with disability, the inability of lecturers to design curriculums and learning methods that are accessible to students with disability, and lecturers doubt about their confidence to accommodate students with disability, especially with non-physical disabilities. Universitas Indonesia (UI) UI is one of the best universities in Indonesia and claimed to be an inclusive university. In terms of infrastructure, University Indonesia shown seriousness in accommodating students with disability. But in the learning process, at the beginning of the observation, the majority of lecturers still apply a one-size-fits-all curriculum. This does not reflect that the university has implemented inclusive education. The concept of universal design for learning is not well known, but perhaps some lecturers have unconsciously applied the three principles of universal design for learning in their teaching practice. With the gap knowledge and practice, it is necessary to conduct research with two research questions. Do lecturers apply the three principles of universal design for learning in the teaching process? How do the students perceive lecturers in applying in the three UDL principles? This research will be the basis for developing a training modules for lecturers' professionalism in implementing the philosophy of inclusive education in higher education through the application of universal design for learning. Now I'd like to move on the methodology section. Before collecting data, this research received ethical approval from the Indonesian Faculty of Psychology. To answer the research question, this research used a qualitative approach. The target participants in this research are 6 lecturers who have or are currently teaching students with disability, 6 students with special 6 students with disability, with physical disability or physical or non-physical disability. Data collection used semi-structured interviews technique conducted face-to-face or online. Before the interview was conducted, participants filled out informed consent and understood the purpose of the research. After the result of the interview, we were transcribed verbatim and the data analysis technique was carried out using Brown and Clark semantic analysis with an inductive approach. Then the identification of them used a latent approach, reading into the subtext and assumption underlying the data. The result of the interview in transcript form were read by all researchers repeatedly to facilitate a deeper understanding of the content and context of each interview and to avoid bugs meaning in the data until it provided clarity. Member checking and coder agreement are two specific steps researchers take to ensure authenticity and reliability. And to develop the interview guide, the 3 principles of universal design for learning were used, namely principle of engagement. The lecturer engaged students to be able and feel involved when learning in class. And then principle of representation. The lecturer provides several ways to personalize the presentation of information. And the last principle of action and expression. The courses use technology to support communication among students and teachers. I'd like to bring your attention to this table that gives information about the participant. The first table is about lecturer participant. Participant consisted of 3 male lecturers and 3 female lecturers. 5 people came from the Faculty of Humanities and only 1 person came from vocational education. We didn't determine which faculty would be our participant, but these 6 lecturers responded quickly to become participants in our research. They have experience or are currently teaching students with disability. There was only 1 lecturer who recognized the principle of UDL. The next table is a description table regarding participant student with disability. Participant consisted of 1 male student and 5 female students. 4 students come from different faculty, while 2 students come from the same faculty. This is also the same. We did not determine which faculty would be our participant, but we asked the health service clinic at Universitas Indonesia to provide information to students with disabilities who were willing to become our participants. 5 students with non-physical abilities and only 1 student with physical disabilities. She uses a wheelchair every day. Now let's take a look at the result. I divided the result of team into 2 tables. There are teams resulting from regular participants and teams resulting from students with disabilities. Please note the results of this term are still temporary because we are continuing to analyze the themes that emerge. As you can see from the first tab, from the table, result of lecturers, there are 9 themes for the principle of engagement. Meanwhile, the principle of representation has 3 terms and the principle of action and expression has 6 terms. And the result term of student with disability sometimes emerge from student with disability in the principle of engagement consisted of 6 terms, 5 terms from the principle of representation and 4 terms for the principle of action and expression. Some common themes emerged in both the lecturer and student sections, such as communication, collaborative learning, teaching method, and the use technology. These themes that emerge will be guidance for us to make a module of UDL to for professional lecturer professional development in for lecturer in Universitas Indonesia. That's my presentation. That's my presentation, and thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights. It was really insightful, and I particularly like the approach of conducting this study before you are actually developing the teacher training modules and using this data that you have collected to improve the teacher training modules. So I like the way you have conducted this study. I would like to open the floor for our participants to ask any questions or if they have any comments